Good morning, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. Host Fred Arnold on the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. I'm joined by Patty Handy. Patty Handy, author.
Yes.
Mom.
Yes.
Mortgage professional.
Mom first.
Yeah, mom first.
Yeah.
You've done so much for so many people, but right now I want to talk to you about your job as a mortgage professional at American Family Funding. It can be stressful buying a house.
Yes, absolutely.
It can be really stressful. You get some fighting between you and your spouse because, it's such a challenging thing to go through your finances and come up with a down payment and really look at spending habits, and then finding a home in a neighborhood which you can agree upon together. Maybe you have children you got to throw into the mix. Tell me about that side of it and really the things you have to look at when it comes to buying a home.
Well, it is a very emotional process, and not only do you have, when you purchase a home, the loan, but you've got to go through, the purchase contract, the home inspection, termite.
All those are stressful.
Everything is a stressful piece.
Yeah.
So it's so important to, as much as you can, have a team that is your support team and coach through this process. So what I'd like to chat about is just the emotional side of doing the loan. Mm-hmm. And when you are dealing with a loan officer, you've got to have that connection as far as like a doctor has bedside manner. Mm-hmm. You've got to have that member on your team that is there to support you, not just from a lending perspective, because there's a lot of very talented lenders. We all have very similar product. We all have very similar pricing, but there's different personalities.
And there's some fantastic ones that you might not just mix with.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. If the personality is such that it just doesn't connect, then find one that does. Mm-hmm. And I'll use a comparison. When you have something very serious in your health and you want to go to a doctor and you need something done like heart surgery or brain surgery or something major, you're going to talk to a couple different doctors, get second opinions, and if they're all equally talented in their craft and they're similarly priced, you want to go with one that resonates with you. Mm-hmm. Good bedside manner, somebody who's going to be there emotionally, somebody who answers your calls when you need them, doesn't take a day or two to get back to you. So a very similar thing in the loan process. When you're dealing with that lender, you've got to find somebody that understands your situation, is patient and calm, and can walk you through everything, who will return your calls very quickly, mm-hmm. who will answer all your questions on the weekends, mm-hmm. who will take a phone call on a Friday night at 9 o'clock.
So you can reduce your stress for the rest of the night.
Reduce the stress, yeah, and feel good about the process.
Yeah, peace of mind, I always call it. And the one thing that I've always tremendously believed in, and that is when I purchased a home, I've always used a real estate agent, even though I'm in the mortgage business, right? And the reason why is because I wanted an unbiased, unemotional feedback. Because I'm emotionally involved in buying this house. I mean,
right.
There's where I'm going to put my my son's room and my daughter's room, and there's where I want to put the fireplace outside, and here's where now I'm all wrapped up in the emotional side of it.
Right.
I might lose track of the basics on the contract and the basics on the negotiation because I'm so wrapped up in it. Well, you need that unbiased third party.
Right, and that professional that you can trust that'll point out the crack in the ceiling, or
Mm-hmm.
it'll pull out something from the home inspection and go, you know what, this is questionable, or something.
And I think it's important that you work really well with your realtor and your mortgage professional. That's key.
That's a team. I mean, again, I'll kind of come back to the doctor. You work with the anesthesiologist, you work with the surgeon, you work with the nurse, you work with everybody who's there. Everyone
on the team.
So that team is somebody, and you have to make sure that they all get along.
Right.
Escrow and your agent. So yes, talk to a couple, loan officers, understand that it is an emotional transaction. Mm-hmm. It can get very heated. Even on a refinance, when there isn't all those other elements, the termite and home inspection and all that, there's paperwork and there's documentation and there's just issues going through that process.
Right.
So make sure that when you deal with a loan officer, that emotional piece is met.
The connection.
Yes.
One thing I will stress upon, and your feedback is, Get a referral. I mean, if you're looking for a mortgage professional, I mean, Patty's amazing at what she does.
Thank you.
But get a referral from a family or friend, right? Because they've been through that process with that mortgage professional in the past.
Right. That's huge. And when I have a client that calls me and says, yeah, I've been talking, I'm seeing Quicken online or some online, I shouldn't take a name, but any online.
Online. Well, they're the most well-known,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So an online source, or even sometimes a big bank, you really want to think twice about that because you're not going to have that relationship with some online source. Just won't.
I was interviewing a mortgage professional with one of the top two biggest online companies. He was a vice president at the time, and he was doing a presentation. It was in Napa for the Mortgage Brokers Association, and the one thing he said to our group, and then I interviewed him later, and he said, the one thing we cannot do is we can't sit at the signing table at the end to make sure everything goes smoothly, and we can't meet with the client up front to know their specific emotional needs, the dynamics between the two people negotiating, the husband and wife or the co-borrowers. That was the one piece they don't have that we, as street originators, if you will, community originators, do.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important when you're
Huge.
shopping and you want to save 1/8%, but you can't get a hold of the person or they don't really know what your needs are.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times when you call some of the online sources, you may not necessarily get the same person twice in a row.
Or the same answer.
Or true. So it's super important to make sure that
That piece is there.
foundation is in place.
And just real briefly, the books you publish, I know what they are, but share.
Sure. So the most recent one is Money Rules 101, Master Your Money Before It Masters You. And it's great for high school, college-bound kids and those starting over. So women coming out of divorce or death of a spouse who just don't have a handle on money. A children's book and 50 Ways to Thrive After Divorce.
I love that book. I've been through a divorce, and one thing you did is you shared that with me, and
Yeah.
it was so helpful to me. So you help people in
glad.
need, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Those that come in and see Patty. We'll make sure that one of the books will be there for you.
Yes.
Just come in and say hi, and American Family Funding, Patty will make sure that happens.
Yes.
As one little extra takeaway.
Yes.
To help others achieve their dreams and goals in life.
We all need help in parts of our lives, and we all go through different journeys at different times, or we know somebody who's going through different journeys at different times.
That's
so
the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So great resource for those. Doesn't matter what phase of their life. I know the book you wrote was for your son on helping him as far as know those financial issues and
Right.
to those that you've helped through divorce. And I know that we have about 30 seconds. There's a women's group you've been helping also.
I am, actually having
Passionate about it.
an event coming up that, trying to reach those who, again, are starting over. Women who are recently divorced, lost a husband. I was talking to a friend recently whose mom had a friend whose husband passed away unexpectedly, and she didn't know how to use an ATM card.
No.
And it's heartbreaking to hear those stories.
So you're there to
So
help.
I don't want to have that, yes.
Mortgage professional, author, great mom, great friend.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Patty Handy, those who want to reach out to you.
They can call me at 661-505-4310. That's my direct line at the office.
Patty with an I
Patty with an I.
at AFFloans.com. An amazing person.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed this edition of the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. I'm your host, Fred Arnold on KHTS.